This statement from the administration: the president had the constitutional authority to direct the use of military force because he could reasonably determine that such use of force was in the national interest. That's too vague for you?
Totally vague.
Okay, because that's from Obama about Libya.
Well,
did you see his face? Now that's Trump derangement syndrome at its finest. Adam Schiff just got baited, and Bill Maher absolutely let him walk right into humiliation. Adam Schiff sits down thinking he's about to score another easy jab at Donald Trump. Then Bill Maher reads a controversial quote and casually asks Schiff what he thinks about it. Schiff doesn't even pause. He instantly goes off, attacking Trump, ranting about how reckless and terrible that statement is. Total meltdown mode. He didn't know that was a trap, and you could hear the gasps from the crowd. And the second Schiff realizes it. Complete shock. No comeback. No explanation. Maher just sat there smiling while Schiff realized he had just torched the wrong guy on live television. What happens next is crazy. Stay with me as we will break it all down at the end. Let's get into it.
Well, Obama made the argument initially that he could go into Syria without an authorization. I and many others pushed back on that argument. Ultimately, he did not go forward with going after Assad, even though Assad was gassing his own people, because he thought he might lose the vote in Congress. But I respect the fact that that was important to him, and the fact that he did not have the support of Congress meant that we weren't going to go forward. We are unquestionably at war now. The founders made an extraordinary decision at the time, which was not to give that power to the president, but to give it to the Congress, because they worried, I think, as Hamilton said, that a president would grow too fond of making war. After Venezuela, after the earlier Iran conflict, after bombing Nigeria and Iraq and Syria, he's grown too fond of this. And Congress, Don, as you're saying, needs to step up.
Also, this week, war. Did you hear about that thing? We bombed Iran, and it's going on. Now, have you expected me to say I hate it? I don't. Sorry. When he puts boots on the ground, yeah, then I'll hate it. Now, I know too many happy Iranian Americans. Sorry. And you cannot name one horrible thing that has happened in the Middle East in the last 50 years and not connect it to this fascist theocracy. They're like 6 degrees of they don't eat bacon.
I said I'd give it a 12 to a 15. Their army is gone. They're just about, look, their Navy is gone. Their communications are gone. Their leaders are gone. 2 sets of their leaders are gone. They're down to their 3rd set. Their Air Force is wiped out entirely. Think of it. They have 32 ships. All 32 are at the bottom of the ocean. Other than that, they're doing very well, Coach. Very well. We're doing, our military is doing phenomenally. That's the big thing for this week. We seem to have a new thing every week, but the situation with a very bad and very sick group of leaders who were killing a lot of people, a lot of our people.
What you just watched right there perfectly exposes the double standard that's been driving American politics for years. Look at what just happened to Adam Schiff. The moment he thought the quote came from Donald Trump, he immediately exploded. No hesitation. No context. Just outrage. But the second Bill Maher revealed that the quote actually came from Barack Obama, the entire energy in the room changed. Suddenly the confidence disappeared. And that's the bigger issue here. Because the outrage you hear today about Trump reacting to threats in the Middle East is the same outrage machine that suddenly forgets history whenever it's politically convenient. You cannot talk about instability in the Middle East without mentioning Iran. For decades that regime has openly called for the death of Americans and supported groups attacking U.S. interests. But when Trump responds, suddenly he's reckless. Suddenly he's dangerous. Meanwhile, the same people screaming about constitutional limits today had no problem when Barack Obama launched military action during the 2011 NATO intervention in Libya that helped topple the Libyan government and left the country in chaos. And let's not pretend this started there. Bill Clinton ordered military strikes multiple times during his presidency, and nobody demanded a 90-day debate before action. But now suddenly there are new rules. Now suddenly every move requires endless coordination and legal lectures, not because the situation changed, but because the president changed. That's the hypocrisy people are noticing. The standard shifts depending on who's in power. But I want to hear from you. Do you think the reaction we're seeing is about constitutional limits? Or is it about who's sitting in the Oval Office? This channel is about real conversations. So jump in the comments and tell me what you think. I want to hear where you stand on this.